Hi guys, Jasmine here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a practicing social worker and I share my experiences, both social work and non-social work related, here on the channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you're interested. So in this video, I just wanted to talk to you about a few tips for working with children. If you're someone who's been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you would know that before I officially graduated from uni and became an official social worker, I was a youth support worker for 2 years before I graduated. So I do have a few tips for you guys, and this is something that a subscriber had recommended for me to do as well, so I thought it would be good to do. Anyway, I hope you find it helpful. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend or someone who you think might benefit from this video. If there's anything that I forget to share or I do not share, make sure you leave it in the comment section below, because I'm sure other people will benefit from it. Anyways, let's get right into it. So the first thing that I think is really important for you to do if you're going to be working with children is for you to be willing to go to their level. And go down on their level means like how you dress. Like, try and be quite casual about how you dress. To be willing to get involved in games and things that they like to do. So that's the best way to build rapport and relationships with children. And when I did youth work, I played basketball, I played soccer, we went bike riding, and these are not things that I would normally do, trust me. There were times where one of my clients actually loved lizards. So we would go to the bushes so he can catch lizards, and he wanted me to help him. Like, I am so scared of like any kind of like lizard, snake, any kind of thing that has that kind of strange looking skin. I just cannot deal. But I did it. Like, I wasn't catching the lizards. I'm like, I'll come with you. And I just stood somewhere and then I allowed him to do that. And then, like, I'll guide him and be like, oh, I just saw it go to that corner, go there, that kind of thing. So I was really involved in those things because I was keen to build a relationship with them, not necessarily because I was interested in that particular activity. So that is like a really, really important thing, and the most important thing, really, I would say, you need to do if you're wanting to work with children. Another point I will make is, depending on where you're working, try and involve the parents in whatever you're doing as much as you can as well. That can be really helpful because the parents might have certain tips that you might not be aware of, and you might be able to help the parents one way or the other in supporting their child as well. Listening is also very important. A lot of the time, there's lots of behavioral issues, especially if this is a child that has been in the child protection system and stuff like that. It's important to try and listen when things are calm and no one's screaming, to find out what's going on for the person and why they may have acted in that way. And that way you can better support them if that incident comes up in the future. Another thing I would mention is, like, there are these behavioral management plans that the psychologist of the child that I was working with generally put together for the residential home, and we needed to go by that in supporting the clients. So these psychologists were ones that would see the child on a weekly basis, so they kind of knew, they had ideas about how to respond to some of their behaviors. I definitely encourage you to read those behavioral management plans, because you can find some good tips around responding to children when they behave in a certain way, and they're all specifically catered to the needs of the particular child that you're working with as well, so it's generally quite helpful. Another thing I would mention is, I think it's so important to take breaks. I think for me, I was working in a residential home, so because it was in a home setting, it's kind of hard to know when to like take a break, because you feel like you're in a house, you know what I mean? So it's really important to be aware of when you need to take a break, especially if you're not like a smoker who takes a break every 2 hours or whatever to have a smoke. Like, you need to consciously say, okay, I'm gonna go outside just for a minute, just to catch my breath. Another thing that I would say is really important if you're going to be working with children is, you need to make sure you're keeping them busy. Like, tire them out, take them out, go, I don't know, hiking, go bike riding, go and do something, because generally they start to muck up when they get bored, that's when they get up and then they start fighting and stuff like that. So keep them busy and keep them doing stuff, and be aware of like their engagement in whatever activity it is as well, so that when they're starting to get bored, you know that okay, maybe it's time to switch activities or go and do something else, because then that doesn't allow room for them to start mucking up, and that allows them to release their energy as well. It tires them out. By the time they're back to their residential home, they're just ready to have a sleep or something like that. Another thing I would say is recognize when they do things well, and praise them and acknowledge them for doing things the right way. Let's say generally they don't make their bed when they wake up, but one time you go into their room and they have made their bed. Recognize it and acknowledge it and let them know that they've done a good job, and that can sometimes help to encourage them to continue to do that as well. Also, try and maintain a routine with them, like make sure they're waking up at a certain time, going to school at a certain time, coming home at a certain time. It helps to put some routine in their life, and it can help, you know, keep them going and keep them calm and keep them responsible, because they know what to do when they need to do it as well, and it doesn't throw them off, because sometimes when they're thrown off, that can show in their behaviors as well. Finally, the last point I'd like to make is sometimes helping them to identify the feelings that they might be feeling as well can be helpful. You know, if one of them is trying to express to you that they're feeling a certain way, you know, you can label it and say, okay, so it sounds like you're feeling angry. Do you want us to go for a walk? Do you want me to leave you alone? You know, that can help, having that gentle talk and calling it anger and saying, okay, it sounds like you're feeling angry. That can help them not be so confused about their emotions, and that can help them feel quite settled. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. If you guys have anything that I didn't share already, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.